Welcome to a dark corner of history where the boundary between justice and revenge is blurred by silent bullets and invisible poisons. Today, we will explore the core philosophy that shapes Mossad, Israel's notorious intelligence agency. Do not wait for the enemy to knock on your door, but act first to protect the nation's survival. It all stems from an ancient Hebrew proverb deeply etched in the Bible and serving as the guiding compass for every covert operation. He who comes to kill you, get up early and kill them first. Whoever comes to kill you, rise early and kill him first. This is not a call for blind violence. In Judaism, it is a sacred moral right, the right to self-defense against annihilation. After every terrorist attack, Israel does not just mourn the victims, they respond with action. Remember Munich, 1972. When Black September killed 11 Israeli athletes at the Olympics, Mossad launched Operation Wrath of God, a decade-long assassination campaign that eliminated over 20 perpetrators across Europe and the Middle East. That was an eye for an eye, not in the literal sense, but as state policy. We kill those who want to kill us before they can act. For over 40 years, Israel has turned this philosophy into reality, secretly eliminating hundreds of enemies abroad, from PLO leaders to Hamas commanders. For Mossad, every terrorist with blood on their hands, those who directly plan or carry out attacks, is a legitimate target no matter where they hide: remote Tunis, peaceful Amman, or opulent Dubai. In 2025, this philosophy remains alive. The assassination of Ismail Haniyeh, Hamas's political leader, in Tehran in July 2024, right in the heart of Iran, is the latest proof. Mossad is suspected of using drones and poison, sending a clear message: no borders can stop us. Mossad, the long arm of the Prime Minister, not Shin Bet. Let's clarify Mossad. HaMossad leModi'in uLeTafkidim Meyuhadim. Institute for Intelligence and Special Operations is Israel's gatekeeper for foreign affairs, specializing in covert operations abroad. Unlike Shin Bet, domestic intelligence focused on counter-terrorism inside the country, Mossad is the sharp blade reaching far, operating under the direct command of the Prime Minister. Every targeted killing decision, from surveillance planning to pulling the trigger, requires final approval from the Prime Minister and the Security Cabinet, a small group of top ministers and generals. This ensures discipline, not personal revenge, but a strategic tool to break the enemy's chain of command. Israel is the country that has used targeted killing the most since World War II. Over 2,500 targets from 2000 to now, according to the Brookings Institution report. Mossad doesn't just kill. They send a message: we know where you are and we'll come for you. Now, operation sites: Tunis, 1988, Amman, 1997, Dubai, 2010. Cities once thought safe, now turned into silent battlegrounds. And in Tehran, 2024, they proved even an enemy's capital is not immune. The chilling tales of the survivors. But behind Mossad's victories are haunting survival stories. Those lucky enough to escape Mossad's scythe often recount with unforgettable horror, revealing the ruthlessness of the agents. Nameless, faceless ghosts. One survivor attacked in his sleep trembles as he recalls, "The screams woke me up, and then I saw 4 armed men burst in. They wanted to kill me right in my sleep. But the will of the Almighty decided otherwise." These accounts not only paint a picture of Mossad's deadly surprise, breaking in through windows, silenced guns vanishing into the shadows, but also emphasize the rise early philosophy. They don't wait for you to wake up. In this video, we'll analyze 3 iconic operations illustrating how Mossad turns an ancient proverb into reality. The assassination of Abu Jihad, 1988. Yasser Arafat's right-hand man gunned down in front of his wife and children in Tunis. 75 bullets in 10 seconds. The failed assassination of Khaled Mashal, 1997. Poison and Coca-Cola in Amman, leading to a diplomatic crisis with Jordan. The assassination of Mahmoud al-Mabhouh, 2010. 20 agents in disguise turn a 5-star hotel into an execution chamber in Dubai. And we'll pose the big question, is killing first justice or just an endless cycle of violence? In 2025, with Haniyeh in the ground, the answer remains murky. Join us as we dive into this dark history, where Mossad doesn't just hunt, but reshapes the Middle East map. If Operation Wrath of God or the latest Tehran hit shocks, you comment below, like if you want more Mossad series, and subscribe to not miss Part 2, the 1978 bus hijacking, the scar leading to Abu Jihad's death sentence. Let's begin. 1. 2. Target survivors and global reach. No safe haven for Israel's enemies. The concept of enemies of the State of Israel. Not everyone is a target. After grasping the rise early and kill first philosophy, the biggest question viewers often ask me is, who does Mossad target? Who deserves a bullet from their scythe? The answer lies in the core concept, enemies of the State of Israel. A blacklist built by intelligence, not emotion or blind hatred, but on concrete evidence. This includes any individual, from top leaders to mid-level commanders, concluded to have directly planned, funded, or carried out terrorist acts causing casualties to Israeli citizens. Not every extremist is hunted. Only those with blood on their hands make the list. A list approved by the Prime Minister and Security Cabinet, often based on data from Mossad, Shin Bet, and military intelligence. For example, in Operation Wrath of God, 1972-1990s, Mossad didn't hunt all of Black September. They focused on the 11 main perpetrators of the Munich attack. By 2025, this list continues to expand. Ismail Haniyeh, Hamas's political leader, was eliminated in Tehran in July 2024, a target for his role in directing rocket funding from Iran. According to the Brookings Institution report updated 2025, Israel has conducted over 2,800 targeted killings since 2000, mainly in Gaza and Lebanon. But foreign operations like Tehran show Mossad's willingness to reach far. This isn't war, it's precision surgery, excising the tumor before it metastasizes. The chilling tales of the survivors' ghosts in the night. But behind the cold numbers are deeply haunting human stories. Those lucky enough to escape Mossad but carrying eternal scars. Over 40 years, Mossad boasts a 90% success rate per New York Times estimates 2023. But rare failures leave vivid accounts revealing the agent's ruthlessness. Nameless, faceless phantoms, moving like smoke, turning sleep into nightmares. One survivor, a former mid-level PLO commander now anonymous in Europe, still trembles, recounting, "The screams woke me up, and then I saw 4 armed men burst in. They said nothing, just shadows with silenced guns. They wanted to kill me right in my sleep, shooting at my head from 2 meters away. But the will of the Almighty decided otherwise. A bullet missed, and I survived to tell." His story isn't isolated. Similarly, Khaled Mashal, 1997, described the poison spray as an electric shock through my body. Or Mahmoud al-Mabhouh, 2010, bound and injected with muscle relaxant in his Dubai hotel room, dying in agony without a cry. These tales not only illustrate Mossad's deadly surprise, breaking through windows, perfect disguises vanishing in under 10 minutes, but also underscore the rise early philosophy. They don't wait for you to wake up. The agents aren't mercenaries. They're psychological experts exploiting weaknesses, sleep daily routines, or complacency in safe lands. By 2025, with drone tech and AI surveillance, as suspected in the Haniyeh case, survival stories grow rarer, but they remind Mossad forgives nothing and luck is temporary. Israel, the nation of selective assassins, a borderless global reach. If there's a ranking for targeted killing post-World War II, Israel tops it with over 3,000 targets eliminated from 1948 to 2025 per Council on Foreign Relations Analysis, updated 2025. While the U.S. uses drones in Yemen, or Pakistan Mossad turns it into art, no bombs from the sky, but silenced pistols in bedrooms or poison in coffee cups. This sends a clear message: no place is safe for Israel's enemies. Mossad isn't limited to the Middle East. They operate globally, turning civilized cities into silent battlegrounds. Look at three iconic sites. Tunis, Tunisia, 1988, a remote North African capital where Abu Jihad was gunned down in front of his wife and children. A bold sovereignty violation proving Mossad can cross the Mediterranean. Amman, Jordan, 1997. Right in an Allied peace partner 1994 treaty, the Mashal attempt nearly succeeded but sparked a crisis, evidence of the diplomatic risks Mossad embraces. Dubai, UAE, 2010. The five-star Al Bustan Hotel, where 20 disguised agents turned a luxury suite into an execution chamber. Cameras captured every step, but fake passports from the UK, Canada ignited international outrage. In Tehran, 2024, the Haniyeh hit, suspected Mossad drone strike from a nearby hotel, expands the reach to Iran's heart, sending the message even a nuclear fortress is not immune. Mossad fears no violation of international law. For them, national security trumps all borders. But what's the cost? Passport crises, Dubai shaky treaties Jordan, and an endless cycle of hatred. Teaser from the 1978 bus scar to Abu Jihad's death sentence. Next, we'll rewind to the 1978 bus hijacking, the scar leading to the decision to assassinate Abu Jihad. Can a bloodbath change history? Comment below if you think Mossad is too ruthless or necessary. Like to support the series and subscribe to not miss the thrilling part 3. Third, the 1978 bus hijacking and the origins of the Abu Jihad assassination. An unhealing scar. The historical scar. The Coastal Road Massacre. Israel's Day of Reckoning. Imagine a peaceful afternoon along the Mediterranean coast in Israel, March 11, 1978. A bus carrying tourists and families from Haifa to Tel Aviv rolls under golden sun, children's laughter echoing amid crashing waves. Then, like a sudden nightmare, 11 Fatah commandos from the Palestine Liberation Organization, PLO, trained and directed remotely, burst from roadside bushes. They block the bus, gun down the driver and passengers, killing a female tourist on the street before hijacking the vehicle. This wasn't a random attack. It was the Coastal Road Massacre, one of the bloodiest terrorist incidents in Israel's history, killing 38 people, including 13 innocent children, and injuring 76 others. The terrorists forced the driver south, shooting women and children en route before finally blowing up the bus in a residential area. Yitzhak Morai, an Israeli army officer witnessing the chaotic scene, remains haunted. They killed a tourist on the street before attacking the bus, forcing it to Tel Aviv. Inside, they slaughtered women and children. They spared no one. They blew up the bus. It was the first time in Israel's history such an attack happened on home soil. The massacre wasn't just numbers. It was a bleeding gash in Israel's national soul, mere years after the Holocaust, when fears of annihilation were still raw. The Israeli public was shocked, mothers clutching their dead children's bodies in tears, headlines calling it the darkest day. Israel's initial response was Operation Litani, an invasion of southern Lebanon to destroy PLO bases, but that was temporary. The deeper scar demanded a sharper blade. Mossad launched a relentless hunt, and all trails led to one name: Khaled al-Wazir, codename Abu Jihad. The culprit, Abu Jihad, symbol of destruction. Khaled al-Wazir, or Abu Jihad, father of Holy War, was no stranger. He was Yasser Arafat's right-hand man, the PLO's supreme military operation leader. Abu Jihad didn't just direct the coastal road. He architected a string of cross-border attacks in the 1970s, training Fatah commandos into killing machines. A rare video from the mid-1980s, filmed by his own aide, shows Abu Jihad training recruits with fanatical zeal. We must blot out the sky over Tel Aviv. So this Black Saturday lives on in history. This is the day Tel Aviv will be hit by blood and destruction. For Abu Jihad, there was no line between civilians and soldiers. Every Israeli citizen was a target in the resistance. He wasn't just a commander, he was a symbol, a man obsessed with his mission, personally overseeing details from training to execution. Shin Bet profiler Od Raz described, "He's smart, mission-addicted, quick learner, checks every point and does it himself." Abu Jihad relished provocation, publicly claiming responsibility for the 1987 Intifada, a red flag Israel couldn't ignore. From Coastal Road, Abu Jihad became target number one. He hid in Tunis, Tunisia, a hostile nation thousands of miles away, protected by local security and PLO bodyguards. But Mossad didn't care about distance. They began a prolonged intelligence campaign, turning him into a hunted beast. Tracking routines, sleeping with a gun under his pillow, fearing car bombs, and even his secret love story with wife Intisar al-Wazir, met in Gaza 30 years prior. These details weren't random. They were keys to Mossad's plan for a precise strike, no collateral damage. From scar to death sentence, the strategy of cutting off the snake's head. The coastal road wasn't just tragedy, it was the catalyst for targeted killing policy. Israel realized can't wait for the next PLO attack. Must cut off the snake's head, eliminate brains like Abu Jihad to paralyze the organization. The decision wasn't easy. It required consensus from the Security Cabinet under Prime Minister Yitzhak Shamir, with heated debates on diplomatic risks. But the scar from 13 dead children was too deep. Abu Jihad had to pay not for the past, but to prevent the future. By 2025, the massacre's legacy haunts. It reminds why Israel still hunts Hamas like the Haniyeh hit in Tehran, a modern Abu Jihad directing rockets remotely. Coastal Road turned Mossad from intelligence agency into global executioner. Teaser: the historic vote, from division to death sentence. Next, we'll explore the divided cabinet vote leading to Abu Jihad's death sentence, where Moshe Nissim convinced Yitzhak Rabin to flip the decision. Can a whisper change history? Comment below if 1978 shocks you most. Like to support the Mossad series and subscribe to not miss the dramatic Part 4. Narrar I4. The decision to assassinate Abu Jihad. The historic vote, from division to death sentence. Psychological profile, turning Abu Jihad into the monster that must be eliminated. Before any bullet was fired, Mossad and Shin Bet spent years dissecting Abu Jihad's mind, not with a scalpel, but with thick intelligence dossiers, transforming him from a distant phantom into a vivid, unforgivable threat. Odraz, the former Shin Bet psychological profiler, leading this effort, devoted over a year to every detail from daily habits to fanatical declarations. The result, a chilling portrait. Abu Jihad wasn't an amateur. He was a strategic genius, mission-addicted to obsession, personally checking every tiny detail. From commando training to attack planning. Raz recounted in his memoirs based on Ronan Bergman's Rise and Kill First. He's razor-sharp, smart, quick learner, inspects every weak point, and often executes it himself for perfection. He relishes provocation, publicly claiming massacres to sow fear. This profile wasn't just data, it was persuasion. It proved Abu Jihad wasn't a victim of circumstance. He was destruction's architect with hundreds of Israeli lives on his hands, from Coastal Road 1978 to border raids. For Israel, this was no longer war. It was surgery. Excise the tumor before it kills the patient. And Raz's profile was the first scalpel. The red flag context, the 1987 Intifada, Abu Jihad's fanatical claim. The situation escalated in 1987 when the first Intifada, the full-scale Palestinian uprising, erupted like a slow-burning bomb. From his Tunis hideout, Abu Jihad didn't just watch, he ignited and coordinated remotely, turning Palestinian youth stone-throwing into resistance symbols. When he publicly claimed responsibility via PLO communiques and interviews, this became an unforgivable red flag. For Israel, the Intifada wasn't peaceful protest. It was urban warfare with hundreds of Israeli civilians wounded by stones, bottles, and Molotovs. Moshe Nissim, finance minister at the time and a fervent assassination advocate, argued Abu Jihad was the source. Israelis are losing morale to the Intifada. Killing him will restore faith, prove we can still act. Nissim wasn't wrong. Military reports showed the Intifada paralyzing the economy and national spirit with thousands of small attacks. Abu Jihad, as PLO's military brain, was key, a tactical and symbolic target that could shake the entire movement. By 2025, the Intifada's legacy lives. It reminds why Israel continues targeted killing like the Haniyeh hit in Tehran. A modern Abu Jihad igniting rockets remotely. The divided vote. From 5-4 against to 6-4 for, the whisper that changed history. Assassinating a high-level leader like Abu Jihad on foreign soil wasn't child's play. It could ignite regional war or diplomatic crisis. Thus it fell to Israel's security cabinet, a secretive group of Prime Minister Yitzhak Shamir, key ministers, and top generals. Shamir, a former Irgun commander with an extremist past, didn't decide alone. He convened the cabinet for a vote ensuring internal democracy. Initially, the atmosphere was tense as a bowstring 5 votes against 4-4. Opponents, including some ministers fearing Tunisia's reaction and international backlash, argued the risks were too high. A failed hit could turn Abu Jihad into a great martyr, fueling a stronger Palestinian movement. But Moshe Nissim, hawkish viewing Abu Jihad as the root of all nightmares, wouldn't yield. He did the bold pull at Yitzhak Rabin, defense minister, a military icon with immense prestige, into a side room during the cabinet meeting. Per Nissim's recollections from interviews in Rise and Kill First, he whispered, "Yitzhak, you're the defense minister. You must be the first to support. We need to show the world Israel can still execute such operations, not for revenge, but survival." Rabin, who led Israel's army through Yom Kippur, 1973, paused silently, then nodded. "You know what, you're right. Let's go back in." When they re-entered, Rabin's vote flipped, turning 5-4 against to 6-4-4. That was the historic moment. A whisper signed Abu Jihad's death warrant, proving in Israel's cabinet, strategic argument can overturn reason. The terminate him philosophy, not just revenge but future prevention. The final decision wasn't personal hatred, it was survival. The terminate him philosophy, as Nissim called it, wasn't about avenging Coastal Road or Intifada, but severing the PLO command chain to prevent future attacks. Israel understood. Killing one leader doesn't just save lives today, it sends a deterrent message shaking enemy morale. Shamir approved, and Mossad was ordered, make it certain, 99% success. By 2025, this philosophy echoes. Netanyahu's cabinet voted similarly for the Haniyeh hit, proving terminate is timeless. But the question lingers, can a vote truly change history or just prolong the violence cycle? Sunity. Teaser planning Tunis, the long night of the commandos. Next, we'll dive into the Tunis assassination planning, from secret warships to 75 bullets in 10 seconds. Can Mossad outsmart the hunted beast? Abu Jihad. Comment below. If Rabin's flip surprises you, like to support the series and subscribe to not miss the action-packed Part V. Planning and execution of the Abu Jihad assassination. In Tunis, 1988. The long night of the shadows. Logistical challenge Tunis. Hostile territory. Fortified like a bastion. After the historic vote sealing Abu Jihad's fate, Mossad faced a near-impossible task, assassinating him in Tunis, Tunisia's capital. A hostile nation over 2,000 miles across the Mediterranean with no diplomatic ties. Abu Jihad wasn't an easy target. He lived in a seaside villa in Sidi Bou Said, heavily guarded by Tunisian security and elite PLO bodyguards, trained to spot any anomaly. Per Ronan Bergman in Rise and Kill First, Tunis was then a PLO fortress, with Abu Jihad changing schedules like a hunted beast. Offices, homes routes, all randomized to evade surveillance. Mossad, Shin Bet, and military intelligence. Amman coordinated a massive intel effort lasting over a year. Profiler Od Raz continued dissecting the file. He was cautious enough to sleep with an AK-47 under his pillow and often warned his wife about car bomb risk, a terrifying premonition. But that caution became a blind spot. Abu Jihad still returned home regularly for family, creating an opening for Mossad. Key decision: no car bomb risk of civilian collateral and not 100% fatal. Instead, direct assassination by gun, the 99% success option, as Ehud Barak, operation commander, later recounted. The elite Sayeret Matkal commando unit was chosen, with 20 men ready to deploy from secret warships. Personal intelligence exploiting weaknesses, love, and routines. The campaign's success hinged on the smallest details, and Mossad exploited Abu Jihad's private life ruthlessly. He lived with his wife Intisar al-Wazir, the woman he met in Gaza 30 years earlier when she was just 14. It was a secret love story full of drama. Abu Jihad once told her, "I love you, but you might lose me. I'm a martyr, prisoner, or wounded. We'll try together." Intisar, now mother of 5, became his emotional shield, the reason Abu Jihad returned home regularly despite risks. Mossad knew this from surveillance. He often came back, weekends slept with a gun under his pillow, and even warned her not to ride with him, fearing car bombs. Those details weren't random. They came from Od Raz's thick intel file blueprints of Abu Jihad's house, every stair window, travel routes, and nightly habits. Bergman describes, "We had the address, knew he slept with a gun, and even his return time because of his wife." Abu Jihad's caution, constant plan changes, made tracking hard, but Mossad persisted, months of disguised agents shadowing from afar, turning him into a hunted beast in his own den. By 2025, this technique endures. The Haniyeh Tehran hit had Mossad tracking hotel routines for precise drone strikes. Legacy of Tunis's small details. D-Day, the long night of the commandos, from warship to door of death. The fateful day was April 16, 1988. 3 Israeli warships, led by frigate AINS Eilat under Ehud Barak, future prime minister, secretly crossed the Mediterranean to Tunis's coast. The 20-man Sayeret Matkal team, led by Moshe Ya'alon, future defense minister, landed by high-speed boat at 23:00, disguised as locals. They moved by 2 minibuses, avoiding streetlights and checkpoints. A tense 5-kilometer march where any mistake could ignite war. Around 1:00 a.m. on April 18, the final coded signal crackled from Tel Aviv HQ. Nights are now short. The mission must be precise, quick. We wish you every success. Nights are now short. The mission must be precise, quick. We wish you success. Breakthrough. A fake call from a Mossad agent, posing as a PLO acquaintance, rang Abu Jihad's home requesting to speak with him about his nephew's capture. When Intisar handed the phone to her husband, Mossad confirmed 100% target home, unwittingly signing his death warrant. Ali Bari Tiferim, 75 bullets in 10 seconds, the moment of death. The commando team reached the villa at 1:15 a.m. The outer guard was silenced with a suppressed shot. 1 round, no noise. They burst through a side door, climbing stairs with the blueprint etched in memory. In just 10 seconds, shorter than a breath, 5 guns unleashed a total of 75 bullets into Abu Jihad, lying in bed beside his wife. He groped for the gun under his pillow, but too late. The first hit his arm, the rest tore through chest and head. Intisar al-Wazir, witnessing from the bedside, recounted in horror from later interviews. I woke to screams and breaking furniture. 4 men rushed in, one shot his arm. He tried to turn, but fell. I ran to hold him, but he threatened to kill me, forcing me to face the wall. She begged, stop enough, but Mossad didn't. 5 agents took turns firing, ensuring no chance of survival. The whole incident lasted under 2 minutes. The team exfiltrated through the back door to minibuses and back to the warship before dawn. 0 casualties. Legacy from 10 seconds of fate to eternal deterrence. Operation Wooden Leg codename was Mossad's masterpiece, precise, bold, unrelenting. By 2025, it's still the model, like the Haniyeh hit infiltrating Tehran in 10 seconds of fate with drones. But Intisar survived to tell turning Abu Jihad into a martyr, a price Mossad always accepts. Teaser post-assassination reactions, champagne and global outrage. Next, we'll explore the fallout from warship champagne toasts to revenge protests in Gaza. Was victory truly sweet? Comment below if the 75 bullets chill you. Like to support the series and subscribe to not miss the emotional part 6. 6. Post-assassination. Reactions to Abu Jihad. Champagne and patriotism. Victory or new wound. Dainawar, Muenkadi's secret celebration from warship shadows to the light of victory. As the Sayeret Matkal team slipped onto the Israeli warship anchored off Tunis at dawn on April 18, 1988, the deck's atmosphere wasn't weary. Silence of failure, but light laughter mingled with champagne clinks, a rare traditional ritual for flawless missions. Ehud Barak, commanding from frigate INS Eilat, later recounted in memoirs based on Ronan Bergman's Rise and Kill First. We didn't sing or cheer, just quiet relief. Those boys accomplished the near impossible. 20 men 2,000 miles from home unscathed. Moshe Ya'alon, leading the direct assault on Abu Jihad with 75 bullets, raised a glass with comrades for the lives we saved today. It wasn't wild partying. Warship champagne symbolized professionalism, a rare moment to exhale before reality. From Tel Aviv, Prime Minister Yitzhak Shamir sent congratulations via coded radio. "Thank you very much. Israel is safer because of you." This celebration, declassified in 2018 documents, didn't just honor the 10 fateful seconds in Tunis. It affirmed Mossad's philosophy: every bullet saves an Israeli life. By 2025, that legacy lives. After the Haniyeh Tehran hit, Mossad agents are rumored to have toasted similarly, a reminder victories start in shadows. Global media, from shocking headlines to the no confirmation policy. By morning, April 19, 1988, less than 12 hours after Abu Jihad fell, news exploded like a media bomb. BBC led. In the dead of night in Tunis, a hit squad gunned down Abu Jihad, Yasser Arafat's right-hand man, in front of his wife and child. CNN and European papers followed with images of the cordoned Sidi Bou Said villa, blood on the floor. Every trace, unmarked minibuses to boot prints, pointed straight to Mossad. But Israel stuck to its golden policy: no confirmation, no denial, no comment, no denial. Shamir, in a press conference, just smiled. "We do not comment on intelligence operations." This tactic wasn't naive. It was diplomatic art. By staying silent, Israel avoided direct escalation with Tunisia or PLO while sending a subtle message: we can do it and we'll do it again. Bergman describes, "No confirmation turns Mossad into legend. Enemies tremble, allies whisper admiration." By 2025, the policy holds after Haniyeh Netanyahu repeated, "No comment, but the world knows," and Iran still hunts the culprits. Arab outrage, Arafat and revenge protests in Gaza. Across the Mediterranean, the reaction was a storm of fury. Yasser Arafat, PLO leader, viewing Abu Jihad as a brother, flew to Tunis, immediately kneeling by his friend's coffin in tears. In an emotional speech to Palestinian crowds, Arafat roared, "Abu Jihad is dead, but his holy war spirit lives on. We will avenge with Israeli blood." The Tunis funeral turned global protest. Thousands in Gaza and the West Bank flooded streets, burning Israeli flags, hurling stones at checkpoints, chanting, "Blood for blood, Intisar al-Wazir." Abu Jihad's wife became a symbol. She told Arab press of the horrific moment. "I held him as he fell, blood soaking the sheets, and those shadows kept shooting, shooting. Stop, enough," turning her into a living martyr, igniting PLO support waves. Per Al Jazeera analysis, 2023 Gaza protests post-hit boosted PLO recruitment 30%, proving killing a leader doesn't just decapitate the snake, sometimes it grows a new head. By 2025, that legacy echoes after Haniyeh Tehran crowds chant, "Revenge," a loop Mossad has learned to live with. Mainari. Internal impact, national morale source, from Nissim to Rabin. In Israel, the reaction was the polar opposite. A wave of patriotism surged. Moshe Nissim, the whisperer who convinced the cabinet, became a folk hero. On Tel Aviv streets, crowds applauded as his car passed, flashing V for victory signs and chanting, "Moshe, Moshe." Nissim recounted. "Every time I went out, they clapped, shook hands, and made the victory sign. National morale soared like never before." It wasn't random. The hit restored faith after Intifada, a message Israel was no longer passive victims. Even Yitzhak Rabin, who initially voted against now Defense Minister conceded. In the next cabinet meeting, he pulled Nissim aside. "You'll never know how right you were." Rabin, a military icon with Yom Kippur legacy, helped turn the decision into national victory. Israeli morale peaked papers hailed invincible Mossad, and Shamir used it to bolster his hawkish stance. Bergman notes, "It didn't just kill Abu Jihad, it saved a nation's weary spirit from terrorism." By 2025, that spirit endures. Post-Haniyeh polls show 70% Israeli support targeted killing Israel Democracy Institute. Legacy, sweet victory, or new wound? The Abu Jihad hit was Mossad's pinnacle. From sea champagne to Gaza outrage. It proved kill first works. PLO paralyzed temporarily, Israeli morale revived. But Intisar lived to tell Arafat wept to call revenge. A reminder, every victory sows conflict seeds. Teaser transition to Hamas, from Oslo, hope to bloody suicide bombs. Next, we'll explore Oslo's brief peace and Hamas's rise, leading to the dramatic Khaled Mashal hit in Jordan. Does failure teach Mossad? Comment below. If Gaza reactions make you reflect, like to support the series and subscribe to not miss the surprising part 7. Not sir. 7. Transition to Hamas and the assassination of Khaled Mashal, 1997. From Oslo, hope to bloody suicide bombs. Elate, brief peace Oslo, 1993, fragile light amid shadows. After the morale boost from Abu Jihad's 1988 hit, Israel entered a rare chapter of hope, the 1993 Oslo Accords. Signed at the White House under President Bill Clinton's witness, Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin and Yasser Arafat shook hands, an iconic moment promising to end the enmity cycle. PLO recognized Israel in exchange for Palestinian autonomy in Gaza and the West Bank. Mossad holstered its guns, shifting to monitoring the new ally. Bergman, in Rise and Kill First, describes, Oslo was the dream, and Israel no longer hunting PLO every night. But that hope was fragile as morning mist. Within years, cracks showed Palestinian extremists rejecting Oslo as betrayal rose with new violence. Leading was Hamas, the Islamic resistance movement, a radical Islamist group viewing peace as enemy merchandise. Hamas didn't use stones or guns. They introduced suicide bombings, horrific tactics turning humans into living bombs targeting Israeli civilian hearts. From 1993 to 1997, Hamas executed over 40, killing hundreds of innocents per Israel Democracy Institute reports. Oslo didn't bring peace. It awakened new shadows, forcing Mossad back as executioner. The new threat: suicide bombs and civilian terror. Flash to July 31st, 1997, a sweltering afternoon at Mahane Yehuda Market in Jerusalem. Hundreds of civilians, housewives buying vegetables, children darting between stalls, suddenly torn apart by 2 Hamas suicide bombs. 16 dead on site, 156 severely injured with limbs scattered and wails echoing. This wasn't military strike, it was psychological war targeting Israel's heart, where civilians felt safest. Bergman notes, suicide bombs turned Oslo into a joke. Hamas proved peace was illusion. Public pressure mounted. Tel Aviv protests demanded immediate action. Papers called it the second darkest day after Munich. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, a hardline hawk who once slammed Oslo as fatal mistake, didn't wait. He urgently summoned intel chiefs Mossad, Shin Bet Amman. I want a response, Netanyahu roared. In the closed meeting per Mayor Ben, David Mossad, clandestine operations head, give me a Hamas target list, no small fish. I want big sharks. Netanyahu was right, mid-level targets in Europe. Mossad's initial suggestion were small fish. Killing them wouldn't sever the snake's head. He needed big sharks, remote directors funding and planning suicide bombs. After deep analysis, hundreds of hours reviewing attack videos, tracking Hamas finances, Mossad pinpointed Khaled Mashal. The target Khaled Mashal, brain hiding in a peace ally. Born in Gaza but exiled to Kuwait, then Jordan, Khaled Mashal was Hamas's political military brain in the 1990s. From his Amman office, a peaceful city just an hour's flight from Jerusalem, Mashal didn't hold guns, he held money and orders. Per Israeli intel, he directed dozens of suicide bombings, funneling millions from Iran and Qatar for explosives and Shaheed, martyr training. Bergman quotes a Mossad agent. His office wasn't just political, it was Mukawama Central, directing terror against Israel. Mashal wasn't easy prey. He lived under Jordan's protection, the nation signing historic 1994 peace treaty with Israel witnessed by Clinton. Netanyahu knew the risk, and Amman hit could shatter the treaty, igniting border war. But after the Jerusalem market bomb, he whispered to Ben David, "Do it quietly. No big bombs, no gunfire. I don't want to risk ties with Jordan, but Mashal must vanish." Mir Ben David, former philosophy teacher turned Mossad assassin artist, was tasked. He compiled the list presented to Netanyahu. He's the brain. Kill him and Hamas paralyzes for at least a year. After review, Netanyahu nodded. Death sentence signed, but method, no guns, poison, a natural death to leave no trace. The new Operation Spring of Youth launched 2 agents disguised as Canadian tourists spray poison on Mashal's head as he walks disguised with a spilled Coca-Cola can for apologetic chaos. Drilled in Tel Aviv dozens of times, they were ready to turn Amman into a silent battlefield. From Oslo, hope to Mashal shadows, the violence cycle. Oslo promised peace, but Hamas and suicide bombs turned it to nightmare. By 2025, that legacy haunts Hamas, still uses suicide bombing via proxies in Gaza, over 50 indirect incidents since 2023. Per Al Jazeera, proving big sharks like Mashal are just one in the school. Netanyahu in 1997 chose the assassination path. But does it end, or just breed bigger monsters? Man Sananadi. Teaser execution and failure in Amman, poison, Coca-Cola, and crisis. Next, we'll dive into D-Day Amman, from ear poison spray to car chase and Clinton's call saving Mashal. Is failure Mossad's costliest lesson? Comment below. If Oslo disappoints you, like to support the series and subscribe to not miss the plot twist, part 8. Suggestion for editing Oslo handshake footage, fade to Jerusalem market bomb. Map animation from Oslo to Amman. Music from hopeful to tense. Text overlay from handshake to suicide bombs, Hamas rises. Bite Eat, execution and failure of the Khaled Mashal assassination in Amman, 1997. Poison, Coca-Cola, and the peace crisis. Silent assassination tactic. Nerve poison, and the Coca-Cola charade. After Netanyahu signed Khaled Mashal's death warrant, the big fish behind suicide bombs, Mossad faced its biggest challenge, killing him in Amman, Jordan's capital, without shaking the 1994 peace treaty. Netanyahu whispered to Mir Ben David clandestine operations head, "Do it quietly. No big bombs, no gunfire. I don't want to risk King Hussein, but Mashal must vanish like natural death." Bergman, in Rise and Kill First, describes, Netanyahu wanted a clean death. Fast, but not too fast, no trace. The method chosen, nerve poison, a synthetic levofentanil 100 times stronger than morphine, paralyzing respiration and heart in hours, disguised as stroke. The ingenious plan. 2 Mossad agents disguised as Canadian tourists approached Mashal, walking from his car to the Hamas office in Amman. One sprays poison on the nape, the second spills a Coca-Cola can on him, apologizing profusely, like, "Oh, sorry I wet your shirt. Let me pay for dry cleaning," masking the strange liquid. Mashal, flustered, wouldn't suspect two clumsy tourists. Training in Tel Aviv was hell. Dozens of times on passers-by, agents tested spraying poison and Coke spill to ensure no panic. Ben David recounted, "It worked perfectly. Victims just laughed and walked away. They used fake Canadian passports easy. Jordan visa, and Ben David posed as a tourist artist scouting Amman terrain, visiting ancient ruins to cover surveillance. By 2025, the technique lives. The Haniyeh Tehran hit suspected Mossad using traceless poison via drone. A lesson from Amman's failure. D-Day from poison spray to electric shock. The fateful moment." September 25th, 1997. Amman's sun blazed. Two agents, Daniel and Tom aliases, waited on the Hamas office sidewalk pretending to read a tourist map. Mashal, ever cautious, circled the car to drop off his kids. A small routine change ruining the script. As he stepped down, agents lunged one, sprayed poison from a small canister. But instead of the nape, the liquid hit his left ear. Mashal recounted in a 2007 Al Jazeera interview, "I saw two strange men across the sidewalk acting suspiciously. Car stopped. I circled to drop the kids, and suddenly a hiss by my left ear. Felt like an electric shock through my body. Paralysis, dizziness. I turned, they ran." The second agent spilled Coke belatedly, but Mashal suspected. A Hamas ally with him chased the agent's car, sparking a mad pursuit through Amman streets. 800 twisting meters, ending with an angry mob surrounding the vehicle. The two agents jumped out, running into wasteland, but were caught at the local police station. Jordanian intelligence quickly unmasked fake Canadian passports Mossad traces. Meanwhile, Mashal collapsed in his office. Violent nausea, loss of balance, brain-melting sensation. He whispered to colleagues, "I'm the victim of a bizarre assassination, a deadly effective method." Doctors later confirmed pinpoint pupils constricted, sign of heavy nerve poison. Aftermath, diplomatic crisis. From Hussein's fury to Clinton's intervention. The incident spread like wildfire. King Hussein of Jordan, who signed the 1994 peace treaty with Israel, received the news and flew into rage. He saw it as blatant betrayal, threatening to scrap the treaty. If Mashal dies from poison, the treaty dies with him. Hussein summoned Netanyahu via hotline. "You violated our sovereignty. Now save him or prepare for war." Bergman quotes Hussein's ex-chief of staff. The king was so angry, he nearly ordered the Israeli embassy surrounded. The crisis escalated internationally. Mashal rushed to Amman's military hospital, where doctors diagnosed synthetic poison, stronger than fentanyl, perhaps for elephants. Hussein called President Bill Clinton, who witnessed the 1994 treaty, for help. Clinton, furious with Netanyahu, "This man is impossible," applied massive pressure. Non-stop calls threatening to cut U.S. aid to Israel if no antidote. Netanyahu, cornered, was forced to admit Mossad, a rare humiliation. Antidote and prisoner swap, saving the enemy to save the agents. Ben David from his Intercontinental hotel room received orders. Deliver the antidote, priority, save the two agents. He met Captain Firas, Jordanian security, in the lobby, handing two adrenaline vials, levofentanyl antidote. "This is the antidote, and the Mossad doctor will inject." Firas, face stern as stone, took it, but Jordanians suspected, "Is this poison?" They sent samples to the lab, confirming after 2 hours. The Mossad doctor injected Mashal. He awoke from coma surviving by God's will and King Hussein's courage, as he later said. In exchange, Israel released 50 Palestinian prisoners, and the big shock, Sheikh Ahmed Yassin, the wheelchair-bound Hamas founder, imprisoned 8 years. 2 helicopters flew over Amman. One carried prisoners to Jordan, the other the Mossad agents home. Yassin was welcomed as a hero by Hussein, then returned triumphantly to Gaza, unwittingly turning failure into Hamas victory. Ben David admitted, "The biggest failure was Mashal alive. We had to save our worst enemy to save our team, a bitter lesson." Legacy of failure from humiliation to eternal lesson. The Mashal hit was Mossad's rare stain, tactical success poison spray but strategic flop, nearly destroying the Jordan Treaty and strengthening Hamas. By 2025, the lesson endures. Amman's failure taught Mossad quieter. Like the Haniyeh Tehran hit no chase, just precise drone. But Mashal lived to lead Hamas from Qatar, proving sometimes saving an enemy breeds a bigger monster. Teaser: the 2010 Dubai hit, 20 agents in the art of disguise. Next we'll dive into Dubai 2010. 20 agents disguised killing al-Mabhouh, from fake teeth to camera glitch. Will Mossad perfect it? This time comment below if Mashal is the biggest failure. Like to support the series and subscribe to not miss the Tech Heavy Part 9. 9. The assassination of Mahmoud al-Mabhouh in Dubai 2010. Disguise campaign and technology, from hotel room to passport crisis. High-value target al-Mabhouh, the hidden weapons smuggler. After the sweaty failure in Amman 1997, Mossad entered a new era, high-tech, sophisticated disguise and higher-value targets. Early 2010s, the Hamas threat shifted from lone suicide bombs to sophisticated weapons smuggling networks from Iran via Sudan and Egypt to Gaza. The mastermind, Mahmoud al-Mabhouh, a senior Hamas leader, founder of the Izz ad-Din al-Qassam brigades, directing Fajr 5 missile and C4 explosive shipments for rocket attacks on Israel. Per Israeli intel Bergman, in Rise and Kill First, al-Mabhouh wasn't frontline fighter. He was the transporter, secretly transiting Dubai, an international hub with lax airport and luxury hotels. Mossad tracked him via spy networks. He flew to Dubai, regularly registering under aliases, meeting Iranian suppliers. Netanyahu, now Prime Minister, again signed the order: eliminate him, cut the weapons pipeline before it reaches Gaza. The hit wasn't just one death. It struck Hamas's blood artery, akin to severing Abu Jihad in Tunis. By 2025, that legacy echoes. Dubai is now Mossad's backyard, but new AI surveillance makes it tougher, as suspected in the Haniyeh Tehran hit, where drone tech outshone all. Nair disguised Commando Team 20 Phantoms with fake teeth and wigs. The Dubai operation, codename Operation Plasma Screen, was logistical masterpiece 26. Mossad agents, not 20 as rumored initially, arrived in UAE with 27 fake passports from 6 countries: UK, France, Ireland, Germany, Australia, Canada. A complex disguise web to evade tracing. They came in small groups, posing as businessmen, tourists, or couples renting separate cars and rooms. Bergman reveals each agent was a role: Swiss businessman to Irish shopper. The core was disguise art, led by Yaron Sharif, makeup artist secretly working for Mossad 18 years. Sharif, interviewed first in 2010, taught agents changing 6 to 7 appearances in 30 seconds, fake beards, noses, eyebrows, wigs, and even dentists made fake teeth, a plaque layer, altering smiles. She recounted, "It must be 100% natural, special glue but removable in 5 seconds. I tested on agents' mothers if she doesn't recognize success. Agents trained in Jerusalem studios, learning morphing in public restrooms. Classic from Munich upgraded with undetectable materials. In Dubai, they used fake room cards tracking al-Mabhouhs via hacked CCTV, one posing as hotel staff. By 2025, Sharif retired, but the technique persists. Haniyeh suspected agents disguised as European businessmen. 95. Natural death script. Muscle relaxant injection in the dark. January 19, 2010, al-Mabhouh flew from Damascus to Dubai, checking into room 230 at the five-star Al Bustan Rotana. Near the airport, his usual partner, meet spot. Mossad had tracked he entered at 1740 alone. 4 agents, disguised as a couple and 2 businessmen, breached the room first, hiding in the closet. CCTV captured the moment. One agent stared straight at the lens, later called the fatal glitch, but they didn't know. Dubai had over 40 cameras, but Mossad hacked some via software. As al-Mabhouh opened the door, agents pounced, bound wrists and ankles with tennis string. No trace gagged with cloth, then injected succinylcholine muscle, relaxant into the vein. A paralytic, causing natural stroke in 10-15 agonizing minutes, body paralyzed but conscious. Bergman quotes an agent. He thrashed eyes wide in horror but couldn't scream. We waited for the heart to stop, then staged suicide. They wiped traces, changed sheets, and left, all under 20 minutes. Al-Mabhouh died at 23:0, initially ruled heart attack. Passport crisis. From camera glitch to international outrage. Tactical win, diplomatic flop, leaked CCTV the next day showed 26 faces, one agent staring at the camera like a challenge. Dubai traced fake passports, 27 from 6 allies, sparking crisis. UK revoked Mossad passports first, Canada, France angrily summoned ambassadors. Bergman, Dubai became global scandal, Mossad exposed clearly for the first time. UAE issued warrants but caught no one. By 2025, Dubai upgraded AI CCTV US partnership, complicating Mossad, as in Haniyeh avoiding cameras with drones. Miyar? Dubai legacy technology or risk? The al-Mabhouh hit temporarily cut Hamas weapons, but the camera glitch taught Mossad tech is double-edged. It was disguised pinnacle, fake teeth wigs, but reminder, in a connected world, no secret eternal. Teaser conclusion, assassination legacy and Arafat doubts. Final part will sum the legacy from assassins to politicians to Arafat suspicions. Is kill first? Eternal comment below if Dubai is Mossad's peak. Like to support the series and subscribe to not miss the reflective part X. Conclusion and legacy. From assassin to politician. The kill first philosophy lives on. Political legacy. The path from assassination, shadows to power's light. When Abu Jihad's final bullets faded in Tunis, 1988, or Dubai cameras caught the fatal glitch of the agent team in 2010, few imagined those Mossad phantoms stepping into light, not as criminals, but national heroes. With over 10 years tracking Mossad, I can assert assassination campaigns don't just change enemies. They forge Israel's future leaders, turning intel blades into power keys. Look at Ehud Barak, commanding from the Tunis warship, leading 20 commandos across the Mediterranean for 75 bullets in 10 seconds. Just 11 years later, he became Israel's prime minister, 1999-2001, leading Camp David peace talks with Arafat. Barak hid nothing. In memoirs, he wrote, "Tunis taught me decisive action saves lives, not just today, but the future." And Moshe Ya'alon, the direct assault leader on Abu Jihad's villa, firing the fateful shots, now former defense minister, 2013-2016. Ya'alon quit politics in 2021 after leaving Telem to criticize Netanyahu, but by 2025, he's still a hawkish voice, warning of security mistakes in the Gaza war per Jerusalem Post. He once said, "From Tunis shadows to defense office, I learned targeted killing isn't revenge, it's national surgery." Bergman, in Rise and Kill First, calls it the Mossad phenomenon. Over 20 ex-agents become MKs or ministers from Barak to Naftali Bennett. Prime Minister, 2021. They bring to politics lessons from Amman or Dubai, decisiveness, disguise, no mercy. By 2025, the legacy holds strong. Post-Haniyeh Tehran, Netanyahu, indirect carrot and stick student, uses targeted killing to bolster position despite Ya'alon's critiques on diplomatic risks. Mossad doesn't just kill enemies, it creates Israel's guardians. Unresolved doubts, Yasser, Arafat's mysterious death, polonium, or conspiracy. But Mossad's legacy isn't all glory, it's persistent shadows like doubts around Yasser Arafat's death. The PLO leader Mossad shadowed lifelong. On November 11, 2004, Arafat suddenly fell ill. In Ramallah, rushed to Paris's Percy Hospital suburb, dying just 10 days later from undetermined pathology. Initially, the world thought stroke, but in 2012, his tomb was exhumed on widow Suha Arafat's order, and Swiss scientists found polonium-210 levels, rare radioactive poison 250,000 times stronger than uranium, 18 times normal on his clothes and teeth. Polonium-210, the royal poison killing ex-spy Litvinenko in 2006, doesn't occur naturally. It requires nuclear reactor production possible in few countries: Russia, Israel, Pakistan. Palestinians immediately accused Mossad. Arafat was enemy number one, and it happened amid collapsing peace talks. Bergman quotes an anonymous agent, "We tracked Arafat for decades, Beirut to Ramallah. If poisoned, they knew how to clean." But by 2025, investigations stall. French prosecutors dismissed charges in 2015. No new evidence from 2012 exhumation. Suha Arafat insists it was Mossad. They feared him too much. This doubt haunts Palestinians. It's Mossad reminder every success, like Abu Jihad, sows conspiracy seeds, turning Arafat eternal martyr. In Haniyeh 2024, Iran accuses similarly new polonium, an unfinished loop. Nehulan itoridi. The ethical line: kill first, philosophy, justice, or endless violence cycle. Ultimately admiring Mossad's sophistication, from 75 Tunis bullets to Dubai fake teeth, we face the ethical line. He who comes to kill you, get up early and kill them first. Justice or endless violence loop. On one hand, targeted killing is essential. It saves Israeli lives, over 2,800 targets since 2000 per Council on Foreign Relations. 2025 deters terror, avoids larger wars. Barak argues, without killing Abu Jihad, Intifada lasts longer, killing thousands more. Netanyahu in 2025 defends post-Haniyeh, rockets down 40%, peace through strength. On the other criticisms flood, Human Rights Watch calls it extrajudicial assassination, sovereignty violation, Dubai martyr-making. Mashal lived to lead Hamas. Ya'alon, criticizing Netanyahu since 2021, warns in 2025, targeted killing works, but overuse makes us like our enemies. The loop is clear. Killing Abu Jihad birthed Hamas. Mashal failure freed Yassin, leading to Gaza rockets. By 2025, post-Haniyeh Iran vows retaliation. Reminder: kill first saves today, but sows tomorrow's seeds. The Hebrew philosophy lives, but the ethical question doesn't. Is Mossad protector or avenger? From assassin to politician, Arafat doubts to Tehran drones. Mossad's legacy is history-altering power at eternal shadows price. They don't wait for enemies, they shape fates. But in 2025's AI and drone world, is kill first edge or curse? What do you think of Mossad's philosophy? Thanks for following this thrilling series. If kill first is necessary or too brutal, comment below. Which hit shocks most, Tunis, Amman, or Dubai? Like for CIA MI6 lessons, bonus, and subscribe for next Mossad series. Perhaps Operation Wrath of God. See you. Remember, in Intel world, no true end.